Hey y'all, JS Creations Art Sanity here, and today I'm going to use those coasters that I showed you, I think it was Friday's video, on how to determine how much resin you'll need for a mold. If you haven't seen that video, I will link it in here, and I will also have it in the description below. I will also have all of my supplies listed in the description below too, so be sure to check that out. So I've got two of these molds here. I've got my resin all mixed up. I've got about 8 ounces of resin because we determined that these are about 4-ounce coasters. So to my resin, I added some blue chunky glitter. I also added a little bit of sapphire blue resin dye, and that just helps tint the resin so that you don't have to add as much glitter to it, and there won't be any like awkward clear spaces by not adding enough glitter. I hope that makes sense. So anyway, I just mix that in there, and pour it in the molds, fill my molds up. This is pretty simple and easy. Just hit it with my heat gun to get any bubbles. I will cover this and leave it set for 24 hours before coming back to demold these. So here it is the next day. Now I'm going to show you, I am going to fill in the wish part of that. Now these are dandelion coasters. I think that's how they're advertised on Amazon. We always call them wishes. And I will fill in those grooves of the wish, and I'm going to show you how I do that. So first, I've got some just white acrylic paint. You know, there's nothing special to this, and a small tip paintbrush, and I'm just going in there and painting those grooves. I'm not worried about, you know, getting it on top of the coaster because I will show you how I clean that off once these are dry. So yeah, just kind of loading up the tip of this paintbrush, pushing it into those grooves and kind of pulling it around to fill all of that in. And then I will let this set overnight just to make sure that it's all completely dry before coming back in here, and I will show you how I clean all the excess paint off the top of the coaster. So I keep picking it up and looking at it because you want to make sure that you get all of your grooves nice and filled in. You don't want any open spots. And you can do this with any color. It doesn't have to be white. Any color you wish. So I'm just going to continue to do this here, fill in these grooves, and like I said, leave this set overnight for the paint to completely dry before coming back in here and cleaning the tops. So here we go, it's the next day, and I'm just going to use some acetone to clean the tops of my coasters here, get all that excess paint off. Now I started with just a paper towel, like a shop towel, which shredded pretty quickly on me, so I switched over to a washcloth. Now these washcloths that I have, these are for my craft room only, just for my projects. I don't use them for anything else, the shower or anywhere else. These stay in my craft room, and they're just some cheap cheap washcloths, and just keep, folding your washcloth over and over, using that acetone to scrub off of there. And you can see with a little bit of elbow grease there, it will come right off all that excess and be super pretty. So you can see there the white was kind of smeared. That just means you need to find a clean spot on your washcloth and just get that wiped off of there. So there we go. I will do the other one, and then I'm going to tape the back of these and put a top coat of resin on there. So this tape, this is some new frog tape that I'm using, instead of just that regular blue painter's tape. This frog tape is so much better. It does not, I haven't had it seep through. I hope this doesn't come back to bite me, but I've this is fairly new tape that I've got. I've used it on a handful of projects so far, and I really, really like it. It is much better than that blue painter's tape. I haven't had any seepage. It comes right off. It is sticky, but I haven't had any problems with it like I do that blue painter's tape. So I'm going to keep using that, I think. I don't think I'm going to buy any more of that blue stuff. So I just put my clear resin on here. I move it around with my finger, make sure it's all covered, get my edges, and hit it with my heat gun, get any bubbles. I cover it, let it set for at least 24 hours, usually a little longer, before I will come in and take the tape off. Just because I don't want to leave any fingerprints on the top of my coasters. So leave it set for a little bit longer than the 24-hour mark. And then to take this tape off, all I do is run my heat gun around to loosen up the resin drips and peel it right off. I do put a cork backing on these, which you'll see here in a minute. So these corks, all I had was squares left over, so all I did was, cut a circle out of the squares that I had. These are self-adhesives, peel them off, stick them on there, and that's pretty much it. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and leave me a comment. And until next time, see ya!